Coming up on today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, lots of news and notes to discuss from today's OTA practice. Nate Davis is back after missing the first couple of weeks. The free agent signee is at Halas Hall working out. That's good to see. We'll talk about that. Luke Getsy also talked a lot about Justin Fields as he met with the media before today's practice. Some nuggets in there you don't want to miss. And also some practice takeaways. Some other players back in the building. Some players not there today. Some plays to discuss as well. Lots to get into on today's episode of Chicago Bears Now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we will continue to bring you the latest Bears news, rumors, and updates all season long when it comes to the Bears. Let's dive in. My name is Harrison Graham, and you are watching Chicago Bears Now. Let's talk about Nate Davis showing up. I was going to say returning to Halas Hall, but actually showing up because he did not show up for the first couple of weeks. He is at Halas Hall. Luke Getsy was pleased to see that as he had to say this in terms of Davis reporting. It's the chemistry part of it that you really want to work on. I'm glad he's back. I think we've been able to accomplish a lot this offseason with him. Matt Eberflus later talked about that. They've been on the same page with things, so sounds like him being absent wasn't necessarily as big of a deal in comparison to some of the other players that were not there. I thought this was an interesting note as well from Robert Schmitz. Good to see Davis getting reps next to Whitehair and Wright, though honestly, I imagine his presence will be more helpful for Wright, the rookie, than it is for Davis himself. Wright needs to know what he can and can't expect from the guy to his left. Nice to see them getting familiar. So Nate Davis in the fold and the offensive line all there at Halas Hall. And look, you look at this five together, this could be a decent group. Like, I've been cautiously optimistic about this offensive line all offseason. Year two of Braxton Jones. Sure, Tevin Jenkins has to switch positions again, but he played well at right guard last year. You would think he could play well at left guard. Cody Whitehair or Lucas Patrick, whoever it ends up being at center, that should be an upgrade. Nate Davis, definitely an upgrade. And then Darnell Wright, if he plays well as a rookie, should be an upgrade as well. I have concerns about the depth, but this starting five could actually be pretty darn good. Now, are you optimistic about the Bears' offensive line? Be honest with me. Maybe you still have concerns. I certainly am cautiously optimistic. I'm not sitting here saying it's going to be a top five unit, but let me know. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Are you optimistic about this offensive line? Now, Luke Getsy talked a lot about Justin Fields today and said that he could be on a different level this year. Some of the conversations they've had has given him that feeling. Getsy says his growth could reach a, quote, different level. Here is the offensive coordinator once again. He says the types of conversations we're having right now in that room are at a different level than they were last year as far as where he can go with his growth. And I think when you really think about that, it makes sense, right? Because you're in the same system, which Justin Fields has acknowledged makes him more comfortable for a second straight year. You should know the offense inside and out. Oh, and by the way, he's just a year older in his NFL career, and he's got better pieces around him. We just talked about the offensive line being improved. The wide receiver group should be much improved. The running back group is pretty solid. So is the tight end room, at least your top two guys. So that should be the case. There should be a higher ceiling of growth that can be reached this year if you are the quarterback. So that is exciting to think about. Now, Getsy also talked about or was asked, is Justin Fields going to run less? Are you going to take some of that out of the offense this year? And Getsy kind of made it clear that that will not be the case, that, he's not going to turn a dynamic athlete into a straight-up pocket passer and said that mobility will not be restricted. Here was the direct quote. Justin Fields, we will never make him robotic. So if you were sitting there thinking, okay, he's going to run a lot less, they're not going to do any design runs, I don't expect that to be the case. Like, he is going to utilize his athleticism. Now, what I will say is you'll look at his stats from last year when he ran for 1,143 yards and 8 touchdowns, that naturally, if the passing attack improves in terms of volume, consistency, how often they're able to do it, extending drives, etc., that naturally should lower the rushing attempts, right? Like, that's what you hope for. You hope the passing game increases and Fields runs decrease. Now, that doesn't mean you reduce the designed runs. That doesn't mean you tell Justin Fields to stop being an athlete, but maybe it's one of those situations where O-line holds up a little bit longer. He's able to get to a second, third read a little bit more quicker this year. Guys getting more open. The receivers are more reliable. He doesn't have to do it all himself. So I think I would anticipate the numbers to go down in terms of rushing stats, but that does not mean they're going to encourage him to not utilize his athleticism, because that would just be stupid. You don't want to have a Maserati and use it like a Honda Accord. Like, utilize that athleticism, but obviously you just want the passing game to be more impactful here in 2023. Now, will Justin Fields rush for over 1,000 yards again? That'd be quite the feat if he were able to do it back-to-back years. Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. I think he could. I would guess he won't, because I think the passing will go up, but we'll have to wait and see. 1 for yes or 2 for no. Now, subscribe to the channel. We've been putting out a bunch of content over the recent weeks, some OTAs content. We did a post-June 1st free agent targets video if you want to go check that out as well. Obviously, the latest news and rumors. A staple here at Chicago Bears Now. We have live shows every Tuesday as well. Hit the subscribe button. Join us here on the channel. Check out the content tab for any prior videos you may have missed as we continue to bring you tons of great information here on the channel. Another update from OTAs, Eddie Jackson. He practiced. He's kind of been in and out of the building because he's been rehabbing that season-ending foot injury from last year, but he appears to be fully healthy. Bears tweeted out some photos of him out there. Matt Eberflus talked about him being back, which is a good thing, because Eddie Jackson last year was well on his way to having arguably the best year of his career. You could argue maybe 2017 or 18 was better, but 80 tackles, 4 picks, 6 breakups in just 12 games last year before he had that season-ending injury. And I think he's got a chance to be really, really good once again. And this pairing between him and Jaquan Brisker this year 2 of Brisker, another year of Jackson in this system, this safety duo could be awesome. It really could be awesome, and maybe even the strongest position group on your football team if that ends up being the case. So hopefully he gets back, plays at a high level. Eberflus said, once these guys get cleared, we kind of ramp them up, more individual stuff at first, then get involved in more of the team portion. So hopefully at mandatory minicamp next week, he's able to do more of the 11-on-11 stuff. Other takeaways from OTAs today: Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney were absent. Mooney, though, good note there. Matt Eberflus says he's on track with his injury recovery and should be ready for training camp if there aren't any setbacks. So, for me, a guy who's been here, knows the offense, if he's ready for training camp, I'm good there. Claypool, probably precautionary again with the soft tissue from last week. Hopefully you get him back for mandatory minicamp. Terrell Smith, Kendall Williamson, couple of rookie defensive backs, they were out, unclear on their status, so I'll keep looking into that. Not Darnell Mooney, DJ Moore, Justin Fields, they connected once again, and lots of reporters on the ground. Kudos to those who were there at Halas Hall saying that it's clear every time we're out there at practice that these two are on the same page. Also, Jaquan Brisker went out of his way to hype those two up and said, hey, just wait. You're going to see. Those two look like best friends already. Elijah Hicks did pick off Justin Fields. Ball over the middle was tipped by linebacker TJ Edwards, who I think this linebacker duo is going to be awesome too with Tremaine Edmonds. Elijah Hicks was able to pick it off. And then this last one's pretty interesting. Lucas Patrick worked out with the ones a lot. Up to this point, it's been sounding like Cody Whitehair is kind of the clear favorite to be the starting center. But remember, they signed Patrick to be this team's center last year, and injuries hampered that a year ago. Maybe he still got a chance to win that job on the center of this offensive line. What do you guys think on that before we let you go? Who will be the starting center in Chicago this year? If you think it's Cody Whitehair, type CW. If you think it's Lucas Patrick, type LP. Cast your votes in the comments and let me know. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. We'll be back tomorrow with some more news and rumors around the Chicago Bears, some Chase Young trade buzz, little tease there. We'll explore that tomorrow here on the channel. My name is Harrison Graham. Until then, bear down.